For nearly 400,000 years, they reigned across the icy landscapes of Eurasia. Strong, resilient, and perfectly adapted to a brutal world. They were the Neanderthals, our closest ancient relatives. But then, in a blink of geological time, they were gone. Their disappearance around 40,000 years ago remains one of prehistory's most profound and haunting mysteries. This is the story of their last stand. For decades, the image of the Neanderthal was that of a brutish caveman, slow, unintelligent, a dead end on the evolutionary road. But science has radically rewritten that story. They were expert toolmakers crafting sophisticated stone implements known as Mousterian technology. They controlled fire, cared for their sick, and even buried their dead with ceremony. They were, in short, deeply human. The evidence now suggests complex social bonds and a capacity for thought that rivals our own ancestors. Their physique was a testament to the harsh environments they endured. Stocky, powerfully built, with large noses designed to warm the frigid air. Their daily life was a relentless pursuit of survival, demanding immense energy. Neanderthals required up to 4,000 calories a day to fuel their robust bodies. Their diet was rich in protein, hunting massive Ice Age megafauna with close combat spears, a dangerous high-risk strategy that anchored them to their territories. The stage for their eventual decline was set around 50,000 years ago. A new human species, taller and more slender, began moving out of Africa and into Eurasia. We call them Homo sapiens, or modern humans. The first encounters in the Levant were not immediately a clash of titans, but the beginning of a long, slow squeeze. Two distinct human worlds with two very different strategies for survival were now colliding across the same finite landscape. One of the most critical factors was a simple matter of numbers. Neanderthal populations were always small and scattered. Genetic evidence suggests they lived in isolated groups, leaving them susceptible to the devastating effects of inbreeding and a low gene pool. Even a slight dip in fertility or a rise in childhood mortality was catastrophic for these fragile populations. When Homo sapiens arrived, they did so in larger groups, with more extensive social networks that acted as a buffer against hard times and ensured survival. Though not unintelligent, Neanderthal technology was often static. They mostly continued with the same tools for millennia, perfect for close-range fighting. Homo sapiens, however, brought an Upper Paleolithic toolkit. Lighter, more versatile blades, projectile weapons like the spear thrower, bone needles for tailored warmer clothing, and long-distance trade networks. This innovation provided a profound advantage in resource gathering, defense, and adaptability, a crucial edge in the brutal competition for survival. The narrative isn't purely one of replacement, it's one of mixing. As modern humans encountered Neanderthals, they interbred. Today, every non-African person carries 1 to 4% of Neanderthal DNA. Ironically, this successful blending may have contributed to their demise. As male Neanderthals mated with female sapiens, those offspring were absorbed into the larger sapiens population, effectively diluting the Neanderthal gene pool to the point of extinction. They were not wiped out, they were loved into obsolescence. While the competition with sapiens was key, nature delivered a devastating blow. The Earth was in the grip of the last ice age. Around 40,000 years ago, a period of rapid, intense climatic fluctuations known as Heinrich events gripped Europe. The resulting dramatic drops in temperature and shifting landscapes, which turned forests into barren tundra, were too much for already stressed Neanderthal populations, particularly those reliant on large, vulnerable prey. A newer, more subtle theory suggests that disease was the true killer. As sapiens moved north out of Africa, they may have brought with them a suite of tropical diseases to which Neanderthals had no immunity. Much like the later colonization of the Americas, this microbial competition could have created an invisible disease barrier for millennia. When that barrier finally broke, the highly adapted but immunologically naive Neanderthals were slowly, silently decimated by unfamiliar pathogens. Some researchers believe the difference was not in physical strength or tools, but in the realm of the mind. Did Homo sapiens possess a unique cognitive edge, a capacity for complex language, abstract thought, or larger-scale cooperation that allowed them to share knowledge, coordinate hunts, and plan for the future with greater efficiency? This cognitive flexibility, perhaps more than anything else, might have been the ultimate survival weapon in a rapidly changing world. The final act of the Neanderthal drama played out in pockets of southern Europe. Sites like Gorham's Cave in Gibraltar hold the most recent evidence of their existence. Here, in these coastal strongholds, they held out for a few more millennia. They adapted their diet, even becoming skilled in exploiting marine resources like seals and shellfish, proving their intelligence right to the very end. The resilience was remarkable, but by 30,000 years ago, even these last havens fell silent. But the inevitable could not be postponed forever. Whether through competition, disease, climate, or assimilation, the small, scattered populations eventually blinked out. The last known remnants of Neanderthal culture fade from the archaeological record, replaced entirely by the tools and art of the Homo sapiens. The Eurasian continent, which had sheltered them for hundreds of thousands of years, was now silent, a whole species gone. Their story, however, did not end on that silent continent. They live on inside us. The Neanderthal genome is a scientific goldmine, revealing how their adaptations, genes for darker skin, quicker blood clotting, or immune system response, were beneficial to the early sapiens migrating into colder climates. We did not entirely replace them. We absorbed them. Their legacy is literally encoded into our cells, a constant reminder of the intimate history we shared. The disappearance of the Neanderthals serves as a powerful, chilling lesson. A highly successful, deeply adapted species can vanish not because they were inferior, but because they were slightly less equipped to deal with a cascade of combined pressures. Demographic fragility, competitive pressure, and climate change. It's a stark reminder that in the unforgiving realm of evolution, even a small disadvantage when compounded by global forces can be fatal. We stand alone today, the only human species left on Earth. The great mystery of the Neanderthals is not just why they disappeared, but how we survived. By looking back at their fate, we gain profound insight into the unique resilience and adaptability of our own species. The Neanderthal's last stand reminds us that the human story is a tapestry woven with success and loss.